everybody, I'm Sarah and this is my channel, So Sarah Sewed. In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about my plans for my sewing in March. Before I talk about my March plans though, I'll just let you know what I'm wearing today. So I've been at work today and it's a beautiful day. It's sunny and about 23 degrees today. And I have worn one of my Anthea blouses by Anna Allen Patterns. I've made 3 of these. I really enjoy making this pattern and wearing it, and it's a beautiful shape. So if you haven't seen it before, it's just a plain bodice, there's no darts, and then very voluminous sleeves, and you can do those in 2 different lengths. So this one I have made in a cotton dobby from Darn Cheap Fabrics, and this particular color was called Sage, and I've done it in the shorter sleeve length. Now the sleeve lengths are not that different actually from each other, so you can see that this one's the short sleeved, and it pretty much just hits my elbow where that goes, and then yeah, I've got a button down front at the front. And one of the things I really love about this pattern is the hemline. I'll stand back so you can see me. So it's got this curved hem, goes longer, goes up and then curves down at the back, and you can see the size of the sleeves there as well, which I love. So I just wore that today with some ready to wear black pants. As I mentioned before, I really enjoy making and wearing the Anthea blouse, and so much so that I am planning to make a 4th one as one of my makes in March. I've been intending to make this version for quite some months, but the time has actually come that I can see myself wearing it, and that is because we are putting on our school musical this month, and I will be conducting the band from the pit, so we all have to wear our concert blacks for that. And I don't really have a lot of black clothes these days. I tend to wear a lot of colour. So I'd like to make a black Anthea blouse, and I bought this cotton from Darn Cheap Fabrics last year in about September. It's a really lightweight cotton voile with these spots all over it. And I think that will work really, really nicely for the Anthea blouse. I think I'm going to make it the exact same version as this one. So with the shorter sleeves, just down to the elbow, because I like to have my forearms free, and I will be making it in the same size as well. So this pattern is quite an oversized pattern. So even though my measurements put me into the size 12, I've made a size 10 because I read there was quite a bit of ease. So in the size 10, there was 7 inches of ease given between your own bust and hip measurements and the finished measurements. So I thought that would be plenty, and it really is very comfortable. So I'll be making the size 10 again. This pattern comes in sizes 00 to 22, which covers a bust measurement from 31 inches up to 48 inches. So our show is opening at the end of March, so that has given me that motivation to get this one done, and I'm sure I'll get that one done as my first pattern in March. One of my plans for this year was to make some pants, and especially pants that were appropriate to wear to work. So I've made a few pairs of elasticized waist pants that are really great for just on the weekends and casual wear, but I wanted some more tailored pants for work. The ones I'm wearing today that I mentioned are I wear them a lot, but the waist is quite low and I much prefer a higher waist line. So this month I'd like to try and make the Arthur pants, which are by So Liberated in a collaboration with Deborah Weiss from Specs and Keepings. So I'll put in a picture here. You can see that these are a really dramatically shaped leg, like a very voluminous kind of legs. So probably not the sort of pants that I would wear with an Anthea blouse, probably keep it a little bit more simple up on the top. But I'll probably also size down. I've read that if you prefer slightly less dramatic volume in the legs, you can size down for these. So these pants have a couple of different views, and one of them is a fully elasticized waistband, but I'd like to try and make the fly front version because, as I said, I want them to be work appropriate, but also because I really would like to try inserting a zip into some pants for the first time. I haven't done it yet. So the pattern is described as having dramatically shaped side seams with a high waist, lowered crotch and roomy pockets. They look really comfortable. The fact that they've got an elasticized band at the back, even for the fly front version, means they'll be comfortable, hopefully. And I'm going to make these in a linen. This hasn't arrived yet. I've just purchased it from My Design the other day, and I know it's on its way, but I chose a washed linen in an eggplant color, and I'll put a picture here so you can see. I'm hoping that this color will be really versatile, something I can wear through the warmer months, but also layered in the cooler months as well. The pants are designed to have a hem that sits just above the ankle bone, so they are a little bit of a cropped look, and they come in sizes 0 to 30, which is a 33.5 inch to 57 inch hip measurement. As I mentioned, I haven't made a fly front pair of pants before, so I am a little bit nervous about these, but I'm hoping that the instructions will hold my hand throughout, and I'll hopefully also try and find some kind of video tutorial that I can follow along, which I also find very helpful when I'm trying a pattern for the first time. So if you know of one, let me know, or if you've got any tips for these pants, if you've made them before, I'd love to hear from you as well. So that's my second plan for the month, the Arthur Pants by So Liberated. The next thing I'd like to make is something I have made before, and that is the Smock dress by Nerida. Now this is one of the very first patterns I ever bought and made back when I got my sewing machine in the middle of 2020, and I bought the paper version of this one. I cut out a size 12 for my very first one of these, and I actually found it to be too big. So the pattern is described as being an oversized smock dress and being a relaxed fit, but for me, I just found I didn't like the way that it looked. So I ended up making another one, and this time sizing down to a size 8, and that is the smallest size that it comes in. And I much preferred the fit on me in the size 8. So I'll show you a picture of this size 8 version that I made. I also raised the waistline by 1 inch just because I didn't like, I just prefer the waistline seem to be just that little bit higher. So I reach for this dress a lot, this one that I made a couple of years ago, and I find it really a great one to wear on those kind of semi-cool days, so maybe in the low 20s, and especially because I made this one in a heavy linen cotton from Nerida. I've had some more of this heavyweight linen cotton from Nerida in my stash, and I haven't had a plan for it. I had been thinking about perhaps making it into a blazer, or maybe a jumpsuit, but when I was wearing this pink smock dress recently, I was just reminded of how comfortable I am in it and how much I enjoy this shape of dress, and I thought I should make another one in this fabric. So as I mentioned, this is a linen cotton. It's the heavier weight linen cotton from Nerida, and this design is by Field Day Studio. And I think because of the dark background, this one will layer really nicely with some black tights in the cooler months as well, which I can't really do so much with my pink and white one. I find that a little bit awkward to find tights to go with a sort of a creamy based dress. So I think this one will get me through more of the seasons, and I'm looking forward to making this one. So as I mentioned before, this dress, the smallest size is a size 8, and it goes up to a size 20, and the given measurements are in centimeters. So between sizes 8 to 20, that covers a bust measurement range of 85 to 115 centimeters and a hip measurement range of 94 to 124 centimeter hip. So yeah, I'm definitely measured more into the 12 to 14 measurements, but there was so much ease that I ended up making a size 8, which is much smaller than my given measurements. So if you're thinking about making this particular pattern, I would definitely recommend having a look and seeing if you can find some more people wearing the dress and seeing what size they're wearing if you can, and the fit, and deciding whether you'll make the size that is recommended for your measurements, or potentially sizing down like I have. My last plan for the month is to participate in an Instagram challenge run by Sam from Frugalissima and Ruan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl, and they have run this challenge before. It is a frugal challenge. So this year the hashtag is SewFrugal22, and the idea is that you, first of all, you choose a free pattern, and this year it can be anything. So I believe in previous years it's been dresses, but this year it's any kind of pattern, and then you choose a fabric from your stash, you make your garment in March, and then you reveal it on the 31st of March. So I haven't decided yet what I will make, but I am really motivated to participate in this challenge. So I've got a couple of ideas in mind that I'll share with you. I've been looking through the Peppermint magazine free pattern archives, and I am tempted to make the Peppermint pocket skirt. And I believe this was a collaboration with Paper Theory. I've made the Paper Theory Zadie jumpsuit before, and I loved that. So I'm thinking the pocket skirt, it looks great. I've heard good things about it, and I think it could fit really nicely into my wardrobe too. And I have this striped linen that I bought a long time ago. And I actually used this to make the Gilbert top by Helen's Closet Patterns last year, but I've got a lot left. I haven't measured exactly how much I've got left, but it looks like a lot. So I'm hoping that maybe I could get a peppermint pocket skirt out of this one. So that's one of my options. If you watched my February plans, you might recognize this fabric. I had thought about making the peppermint wide leg pants with this fabric, but I've since changed my mind about that. I did have a comment saying that it might be a bit too thin to do the zip confidently for someone like me who's never done that sort of thing before, and that made me think maybe I'll try that pattern with a thicker fabric instead. So now this fabric is looking for a new project, and I'm considering perhaps the peppermint everyday dress for that one. So I'll put a picture here of that. I'm actually fortunate enough to be heading up to Queensland with my family for Easter, over the Easter weekend. So I still will be wearing sort of summery kinds of clothes all the way through to April. And also the weather here is still very warm too. So I think that could get quite a bit of wear. So that's another option. I'm not sure. I think it could look quite nice as a dress, this fabric. I think I've got at least a couple of meters of that one, so that could work. Or I might even use a jersey. I've got this blue bamboo jersey that I bought from Darn Cheap Fabrics last year. And I'm thinking of maybe making, I think it's called the Vera top by Forget Me Not Patterns. And I thought that could be quite a handy top to have as well. So that's another option. So I really haven't decided at all what I'll do for that challenge. And in fact, it could even end up being something completely different, because I do have quite a stash of unused fabrics, or even of big enough offcuts from other projects that I could dip into for that project. So we'll have to watch this space and see what I end up making for that challenge. So they're my main goals for the month. I'd also like to keep doing some sort of hand stitching, or perhaps getting back into my knitting this month. I haven't done any of my knitting since the beginning of January. I have been working on the Shawlography pattern by West Knits, which was the knit along, the mystery knit along that he started last October. It's going very, very slowly, and it's come to a standstill weeks ago. So hopefully I'll get back into that. And hopefully also continue with my Journey Home quilt by Blooming Poppies. Now this is a pattern that I started 1.5 years ago or more ago. Now this is a quilt that I've been trying to work on sewing up 1 block a month for the last couple of months. I'm hand piecing it, so it's quite slow, but it's a nice thing to have while I'm watching TV in the evenings, just to I like to keep my hands busy. So if I'm not doing knitting, it's nice to be able to pick up some hand piecing instead. I laid out all my pieces last night, all the blocks that I have finished, and then the piles of unfinished blocks, just to see where I was at and sort of gauge how much I had to go. And I realized I've completely lost a whole stack of the pieces to make one of the blocks. And I found an old photo that was proof that I did actually have that when I started it back in 2020, but I have no idea where those pieces are. I had a big search, but I can't find them. But what I did find in my search was some scraps of the same fabrics. So I'm hoping, if I can't find the originally intended blocks and the pieces that I've cut out for the block, I'll have to, I'm hoping that I've got enough of those fabrics to just cut out new ones, because it would be a real shame to just sort of leave the project aside and not finish it now. So I have plenty of things to keep me busy this month. I will have a lot of extra rehearsals for the school musical, plus all those performances. So I'm not sure if I'll get time to do all of these, but I will check in with you soon and let you know. And I will soon be filming my February Makes video, so I'll be looking forward to sharing everything I made in February with you soon. So thank you so much for spending some time listening to me talk about my plans for March sewing. Please do give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, and leave me a comment if you'd like to have a chat in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. I hope you're all well, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye bye.